We are here with the Undergraduate Student Government President and Vice President, Cade and Nire. So if you guys just want to start off by introducing yourself a little bit more.
Well, yeah, as you said, I'm Christopher Cade. I go by Chris. I'm a second-year double major in public policy and political science, and I'm current president of the Undergraduate Student Government. It feels very weird to be in this role, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm Nire, born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. I'm a second-year finance major on the pre-law track with a minor in judicial politics, and I'm excited to be the student body vice president of the Undergraduate Student Government.
So why did you guys decide to work in USG?
I heard about USG during an early arrival program, and I told people, like, my long-term goal, I want to be president of the United States. And they were like, oh, well, you should join USG, you should join USG. I was like, well, what does USG do? And nobody could tell me that. And so that's sort of what motivated me to get involved, to try and figure out not only what does USG actually do, but how we can make sure that the experience we're delivering actually gets to students.
So for me, it was my freshman year. I was walking across the oval during the involvement fair, and the former USG vice president, Justin Robinson, actually pulled me aside and said, hey, you should join USG. He told me a little bit about the org, what they do, and I realized it aligned with a lot of the goals and values that I share in my life of progress in a society, and I can kind of take that and bring it onto our campus. So that was why I joined USG.
So what does your role as the president and vice president mean like in practice?
You know, I'm not even sure how to answer that because we're still transitioning, still trying to figure out all the things we actually have to do. But in practice, it means a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations with administrators about what's going on campus, how we can, make sure the student experience is the best it can be, and how to advance the interests of the students.
So for the vice president, it's obviously a support role as well to the president, doing all these meetings and managing each other's calendars, but it also means working with shared governance and the university senate. So I'm going to be appointing a lot of people to U Senate, along with the chair of our undergraduate caucus, Armand Chaudhry, and that is kind of what takes up most of my time as of right now. We're going to be releasing applications for appointments very soon.
Exciting. So what are your guys' top priorities that you guys want to work on throughout the next year?
So number one, and for both me and Isaiah as student employees, or soon-to-be former student employees, is expanding and increasing student wages. My key thing that I want to get right off is standardizing an annual merit raise for every student employee across the university. Our second priority is chalking and free speech across campus, trying to figure out not only how we can make sure that students' First Amendment rights are protected, but also how we can emphasize community and ensure that all the negative parts that harm the campus don't occur, and so that students can feel safe and want to express their opinions. And then our third priority, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, our third priority is making sure that USG is used as a resource for all students. So we want to focus on student organizations because many students are a part of a variety of the 2,000 plus student orgs we have on our campus. So we want to be able to act, like I said, as a tool to provide support for these organizations to have the events they want to host, to have new member recruitment processes, whether it means giving them money for food or supplies to bring people in and speakers on panels. It will be a variety of things, but we should be a tool for all students.
So how will you guys accomplish these goals? How do you guys want to get this stuff done?
On the student wage stuff, we've started an ad hoc committee in University Senate to expand the conversation around that and to get a diverse amount of perspective and voices from administrators, from deans of different colleges, from the graduate students and faculty. And so that ad hoc committee will do a lot of work over the summer to try and produce a report and make recommendations about how we move forward. Broader, it's a board of trustees conversation. It's about finding the money to make sure that students can be employed across different units, just because the way university finances work is so complex. Chalking and free speech, you want to take that?
For chalking with free speech, our predecessors, Jess and Katrina, actually went through and had a very great survey that was released to the entire student body that brought back meaningful data that they used to present it at the University Senate meeting last month, and it got a lot of good responses, to be honest. So we want to continue their work on that by pushing for this, by talking with administrators to see where we can go, where we can draw these lines when it comes to chalking and free speech to make sure students' expressions are not suppressed.
Yeah.
And then also on ensuring that USG is a resource for all students. We are actively working with our cabinet to figure out what ways we can increase outreach, where we're where we're lacking in that outreach, and then also what resources are students utilizing the most. So as you know, one of the big things I instituted this year was increasing the amount of money student orgs can receive from allocations. We're going to try and increase that this year and put more money towards it in our budget. We also want to try and make sure that the events we're hosting are actually filling gaps on campus. And so it's not just, hey, come to this sustainability event or this health and safety event. It's, oh, what tangible impact does this provide to the students?
So how will you make sure the undergraduate students feel heard or represented?
So one of the promises we made during our campaign that we plan to start, first week of September is to host our monthly town halls. This will be a space where we're gonna have food and drinks ready for students to come, and they can come look at us in the face and say, these are the issues we're facing. What are you doing to actively work to solving them? Mm-hmm. And what else are you doing, like looking ahead in the future to make my life better and easier as a student?
Mm-hmm. And then on that note too, we are committed to always being accessible to the students. You can come and knock on the USG office, bang on my door, you want email us, DM us, LinkedIn message us. We will respond, and I think that emphasizes our commitment to not only being a resource for students, but making sure that their voices are actually being heard.
Yeah, so I know you guys just got inaugurated yesterday. Have you guys heard any student feedback so far that has changed any of your thoughts or ideas?
Yeah, so actually, this has started way back during the campaign. We heard from a student who worked at the North Rec, who he heard that some people are thinking of wanting to increase the hours to 24/7 of facilities like the North Rec and Jesse Owens South and North. And he actually said, hey, I work here, my coworkers work here. We actually don't want this. We want to be able to go to these football games. We don't want to have to work at 3 in. So if this is something that you guys can, make sure maybe it doesn't happen or it's delayed in some way. So by the way, they messaged us on Instagram. And
yeah,
instantly in under 5 minutes, we both responded and had a very engaging conversation with this student. So to be able to have that very level of transparency and accessibility to us, I think it's important for all students to, like I said, like Chris said, message us on Instagram. You have our emails, phone numbers. Anywhere that you can find us, please reach out to us. We will be there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some common misconceptions about USG that you guys have heard?
I think common misconception is that we don't do anything. Which is there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes aside from programming that the president, vice president do, but also every other member of our cabinet, as well as the legislative branch. As you know, the General Assembly is very active. So I think, I just don't think we do a good job of marketing ourselves and letting the students know all the things that we're actually working on.
So what kind of leadership do you guys want to be known for?
That's a good question. I think for me, I really do like being able to interact with everybody. That's why I'm a photographer. And so I really want students to feel comfortable with coming to me at any time with any issue. Whether that's USG related or hey, I don't know what to do, my advisor hasn't emailed me back. And I can try and connect them to the appropriate resource. But I think USG should really be a tool, and my leadership is to be that connector for the students.
One thing I'd say to add on to that is we want to be known as just being also just another student. Mm-hmm. Both of us are students here at this campus. We're both undergraduate students taking the same classes as all of you. And we want you, like you said earlier, to be comfortable just coming and talking to us, hang out with us. We can go get some food, get lunch sometimes. At the end of the day, we are students just like you, and we're student leaders second. Yeah. We're still going to be there to represent you, to advocate on your behalf on the issues you're facing, but we're also going to be your friends.
So you kind of talked about it earlier with increasing outreach. How do you guys want to do that?
So number one goal is obviously expanding where we're doing that. So physical presence. We just finished up our budget cycle and we're planning to do USG on the go. So having different pop-up events across campus to sort of increase awareness of what USG is and try and offer resources to students as they're walking across the oval to class or they're outside Scott waiting in line to get lunch. And then on top of that, expanding our direct outreach. So connecting with more student organization leaders, talking about what resources that they need, and trying to emphasize collaboration across all the different issues committees within USG and our student organizations outside.
One thing we did really well during our campaign was engaging with people via videos on our Instagram. And that
Yes.
is one thing we want to carry over into our administration, because due to the videos, we were able to engage over 300,000 views in under 7 days. So by being able to take that from our campaigns page to the USG Instagram page, we believe we can hit people who maybe never even knew USG existed or what we do.
So this is my last question. What can students expect from USG under your guys' leadership?
You gonna take that one?
Yeah. Students under our leadership can expect from an undergraduate student government that is there for them, because our slogan is students serving students. And while obviously we're not going to say no one else has done that in the past, we're going to continue on the legacy of continuing that serving for students by being accessible, being there for you, and by really taking it to the next level with this funding for student organizations. Student organizations are a very vital role on our campus, and there have been a lot of attacks on them from different levels, whether it might be the university, it might be the state legislator, or even the federal government. We want to come and fill in the gap and be there to support them and pick up the burden where things may have fallen short.
And to echo that, I said this last night in my inauguration speech, but in our office, there's a placard right above the door, and it says, "Do what is right first for the students, and then make it work for Ohio State." And that is truly our expectation. If there's an issue that a student has, come to us, because we can't see everything that's going on campus, but that outreach really matters, and getting that information to us means that we can work on delivering results for the students.
That's all I have. Chris, Isaiah, thank you.
Thank you.
For The Lantern, this has been Jacob Jolliff.